Hello, YouTube. In Texas, of 136,000 reports that were filed to DFPS, CPS in 2025, 102,000 plus reports, that's more than 75% of those reports that were filed by people, by the public, were deemed unfounded, unsubstantiated, or false. I want you to think about those numbers for a second. Just think about that. How much do they let people weaponize this government agency against families? At what point is it too much? And what is going to be done about it? Are we to allow people to weaponize government against families? Is that acceptable to you as a citizen? Or even if you're an immigrant? People need to be making a big deal out of this. Imagine for a second if you were having them called on you habitually. Once is bad enough, but imagine having them called on you dozens and dozens and dozens of times, on and off, for decades. As a child, I experienced that. I didn't even know what I was accused of. I was never told. I'd be pulled in for interviews. Sometimes law enforcement would be there. No child advocate present. No lawyer present. No information about my rights. I wasn't told anything. I wasn't even told accusations, what I'd been accused of, or what people were trying to blame me for. Just imagine this. I'm sitting there, I'm making A's and B's. I'm reading all the time. I don't have any friends. I don't go outside, except to go to the playground at school. Imagine being accused over and over again by people who actually turn out to be doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And DFPS is so incompetent that they re-traumatize you as an innocent child who may or may not have been abused. Without going into details, they re-traumatize you, and they have police, detectives from the county sheriff's office engage in aggressive lines of questioning against you as a minor, without you being advised of your rights or provided any legal representation, or having an ad litem advocate or any kind of advocacy present in or out of the room. This needs to be stopped. The false reporting against people needs to be prosecuted as a serious felony offense. Right now, it's a Class 3 felony if they can prove that a person engages in a pattern of malicious reporting. Not one report. They have to be found guilty several times before it's escalated to a Level 3 felony. DFPS, CPS in Texas is being used as a nuclear weapon against victims of crime. People who are victims of sexual assault, as children, as adults, people who are victims of domestic violence involving weapons. You can clearly see there at the top of my face, in two separate places, that somebody has used a weapon to hurt me. You can see it. I want the public to get riled up about this. I want them to understand, because this could be you. This could be you. It could be your family. It could be you as a child, as a teenager, as an adult. You're not doing anything wrong. but people who are engaging in deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender, DARVO. It could be happening to you. Imagine it happens so much that you develop health issues and you're worried in perpetuity. Because I'm going to tell you what it equates to, all right? Having somebody called on you over and over again as an innocent person is the same thing as initiating a swatting call on that person's location, on their family, whether they're at work, at school, or at home. That is swatting. And it needs to be treated as what it is. It's a serious crime. There's a big difference between somebody who's actually been abused telling the truth of what's happened to them and having people just maliciously make things up to initiate authority contact with law enforcement or DFPS, CPS in order to terrorize that person and other people in their family group who haven't done anything. These people may have even been victimized repeatedly with crime by those that are engaging in the reports. I have been visited by the agency throughout my life dozens and dozens and dozens of times as a non-offender. I needed a lawyer. As a child, I needed a lawyer to fight them off. As an adult, I needed a lawyer to fight them off. And the lawyers that represent you, if you ever actually make it to family court, do not actually work for you. They are employed by the state. I'm not going to family court right now. My circumstances are, I experienced so much swatting that I had to start reaching out to the authorities to report it repeatedly, over and over and over again, the same way that I was being reported over and over for nothing. I wasn't told who my accusers were. I was not told what it was that I was accused of. Wasn't provided dates, times, or how the reports were submitted. No details whatsoever were furnished to me about any of it. I'd have people show up at my home to search my house, question my family, question me. Separately, they would be going and questioning my family at their workplaces or at school or wherever they happened to be. They were traveling all around, calling people on the phone and visiting people where no wrongdoing was occurring. This was simply the case of criminals, actual criminals, people who had committed crimes against me or members of my household. They were picking up the phone or going through whatever mechanisms of reporting that the agency uses. And they were engaging in malicious reporting to chill, reporting on crimes that we had experienced. And I have not gotten any advocacy whatsoever. None. Amid all that, I've been afraid to even speak out about it for fear that it would make things worse. There are other people out there that are experiencing this, and I'd like to connect with you. I want to know what you did about it. I've taken some steps. I'm not going to list them here for personal safety reasons. I want to know what steps that you took, how you stopped it, how you held the agency accountable, and how you got the people responsible prosecuted. Because I have requested on a number of occasions to law enforcement in conversations with them that they investigate false reporters and establish a protective order to prevent further false reports. There needs to be evidence when you are falsely accused, and you need to be told what the grounds are, and I was never advised of any of that. Imagine having them show up for 5 years and finally just say no more. And you cut it off, and people are still trying to make contact with you. As I said before, I won't say what steps that I have taken to prevent contact, but I have taken steps. I want to know what you did about it. What action worked for you to get it to stop? How you managed to finally just get peace at home, at work, etc. If this has happened to you.